Hi, welcome to another video from Dr. Lock. We're going to look at the old-fashioned 245 padlock. They still are available on our website, made by BDS. What the difference between this padlock and other padlocks are, especially the new ones, is that these old padlocks were made by hand and then they were hand linished to seal them up. I'll give you a quick demonstration on how they're done and, well, a bit of an indication on how they're done. I'm not going to make one completely. What we are going to look at is these padlock pins. These padlock pins are used to seal the padlock up. And once you've sealed it up and you've hammered them into position, you then linish off the surface, giving you a nice surface like this where you can't actually identify where the pins have been. This one here I'm re-drilling out. It's already been pinned and capped, and now I'm re-drilling them back out. So first of all, I've knocked them down to find out where they are, then I'll need to re-drill them out, and then I'll need to put new pins in and then recap it and re-linish it. There was a cap at the top that's been linished, and as you can see, you can't actually see where it was afterwards. These are the pins here. There's 200 in a pack. Sorry about the focusing on it. So they're basically a pin with a little tiny chamfer on one side to allow them to go into the brass padlock easily. You bash them down. I'll give you a demonstration on that and what they look like once they're linished. The actual padlocks themselves come in kit form like this for all those hobbyists that like to build their own padlocks. So they come in a kit form like this. As you can see, all the holes, this is where you put your pins through, and then you would use these pins on top to actually cap them off. These pins are good if you're rekeying a padlock, if you want to drill it out like we're doing here and change it to a new combination. If you buy a new padlock, they actually come with their own pins already in the pack. Okay, so let's drill it out now. Okay, so as you can see, my workshop, especially my mill drill, is a little bit messy at the moment. I'm using, what I've done here is I've tapped them down, I've center punched them, allowing me to see exactly where I need to drill. Now we're going to bring it down and just drill them out. I'll just do a couple as an example. Just lining it up here. Once you hear that noise, you're through. There's the first one. Here's the second one. Third one. And fourth one. Let's give you a quick look. So now you can see the holes are back there, and we can simply tap out our pins and springs and start again for a different combination. So they might need a little bit more drilling, but you get the point. We'll move to the next step. Okay, so we're up to step 3 now. So we've basically drilled out all these chambers, we've cleaned out all the springs and everything, so the only thing you can see through there now is the key. I'll see if I can quickly show you that. Should be able to see the key moving in and out. Maybe if I use a bigger key it might make it easier. Sorry about the camera work, it's very hard to... So you can just see the chrome part of the key going in and out there. So that means our chambers are empty. There was five chambers on this one, I've only drilled out 4. That's all I needed to do. And now we're going to put some new pins in there, which are these ones here. We're going to set it up to our shape of the key, which is this one here. And then we're going to cap it all off, and I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, so we've just found out which pins we need to use, which are these ones here to suit this key, and when they're in the position you can see that they're all flush and the cylinder is round, so it will turn. So that's the pinning stage. We've worked out these are our bottom pins, as you can see them here. What we will need then is some top pins. You can use upside down bottom pins, and then on top of that we will be putting in a spring. So we have our bottom pins, our top pins, and then a spring, and then we're going to be using these padlock, I'll show them to you again, these padlock pins right here if you can see them, and we're going to seal up the padlock. Okay, so here is one of the pins. If you find they're not quite wide enough or you're drilled a too big a hole, what you can do is you can widen this pin right here just by using a big sledgehammer, and that would have shortened it but yet increased its diameter, making it a nice snug fit in the padlock. Okay, so now we've drilled it out, we've pinned it up, we've got our pins ready to be put back in there. It's going to be very hard to do with one hand. You can see the springs coming up, then we put it over the top. See if I can do this one-handed. Bit of tap. Nope. Try with one of the other ones here. Normally you use two hands to do this. There we are. And you can see the plug is going into the padlock and creating a seal. So you would do that with all of the holes that are open. It does have a little chamfer on it as well, just to guide it in there. Something there. Did we get it? Nope. Sometimes you might have to use a flat blade screwdriver to hold it down into position and then hit it on top. They're normally hard to do with two hands. It's even worse doing it with one hand. Pushing in there to start it off. No. Anyway, you get the idea. Once the pins are in there, you just give them a few little taps until they go all the way home. You try to hit them down to level, not down past the level. And we'll go to the next step. Okay, so as you can see now, all of the holes have been plugged. Okay, they've actually been hit down a little bit too far, and now we will go to the linishing stage to clean it up. Okay, here we are at the linisher. Turn it on. And we'll linish tap to make it nice and clean. Until all the marks are out. A little more. And there you have it. As you can see, it's completely linished, and it's got a nice smooth edge on it. You can't see any marks, you can't see any plugs. Basically, when you linish it, you just hold it in flat, and then you give it a slight angle, slight angle, just like that, slight. Linish until you can't see any marks, any plugs, and that is how you seal up and use padlock plugs, and you build a padlock from kit form. Thanks for watching.